Hey everyone, it's Game Fruit Pulp. Welcome back to another video. Today's going to be a bonus video. It's coming out on a Sunday, I believe. And it was something that I figured I could talk about, and decided I didn't want to have it interfere with my regular upload schedule because I'm trying to finally get into a regular upload schedule again after a long time. So I figured I would upload this as a sort of bonus video. There's going to be two bonus videos over the next couple weeks actually. I'm going one this Sunday and one next Sunday as well. But anyways, we're going to be talking about something today that's been going on for a long time, and I didn't really want to give my thoughts on it, but I did at the same time, and I decided I might as well, just because the story keeps sort of developing. And so what we're going to be talking about today, as I'm sure you saw by clicking on the video, is what's been going on with YouTube over the past couple of months, or I guess weeks and now months, and how it affects me personally, but not really me, because I'm so small. I'm more so in the YouTube community in general. The footage in the background, as you can see as well, is Rocket League. I was going to do Minecraft, but I figured since I have mostly Minecraft videos, about two-thirds of my videos right now are Minecraft, I'd go to Rocket League. I was going to do some CSGO or something, but I figured I'd just do Rocket League because that's one of the games I've been into lately. So that's the footage in the background. Hope you enjoyed that. But to the content of the video, to the focus of this video, and if you're unaware, YouTube has been dealing with quite a few controversies over the past couple months. We've had, I think it all really started, I mean, it never really ended. YouTube is a ginormous community, so because of that, there's always sort of controversies. But the big controversy, I believe, started with PewDiePie way back when he had that video with, like, basically talking about he had basically people doing anti-Semitic remarks for him, stuff like that. And so this sort of started this push back, for lack of a better word, from the advertisers, and saying, if this is what we're supposed, like, we're paying you to advertise and make our company look good, and these kind of things do not make our company look good, and they don't bode well for our company. And so because of that, they had a lot of people, a lot of advertisers sort of come to YouTube and say, you need to establish some sort of protocol or some sort of program that ensures us as the advertisers that our advertisements are not going to be put on videos that are not good for our brand image, which is completely, I mean, it's completely acceptable from the views of the advertisers. Throughout this video, let me just sort of digress for a second. Throughout the video, I'm going to be sort of trying to give both sides, from the advertiser and for the YouTuber, and for YouTube as a company in general, because I do kind of see it from all sides of this story, and I do kind of understand where all of them are coming from. So I figured it would be best to try and reflect all the sides of the story as best as I could, and sort of so you guys can make your own decision. But I think that the advertisers were completely in the right for asking to establish some sort of guidelines. And I know that some of the responses to this, like for example, Pepsi advertises on YouTube from time to time, and people can say, like, well, Pepsi just made a fool of themselves with their last advertisement campaign with Kendall Jenner, and so how can they tell YouTube they need anything? That's not really relevant in my opinion. I think that any advertiser has the right to request anything from the people they're advertising on, and just as much as the advertisers have that right, YouTube also had the right to say no. However, YouTube, it makes sense for YouTube to establish some sort of system, because it would help ensure that they continue to get this advertisement revenue, which they have not been able to sort of secure for a while. It's always been, these kind of concerns have always been coming up. How do you sort of moderate and ensure that your content is advertiser friendly? Then YouTube came out with this program, this restricted mode, which seemed like it could solve this problem. However, this has also sort of been a big mess, because there were videos that were being flagged for restricted mode that basically shouldn't have been. The policy, basically, restricted mode is supposed to be anything that's fitting for a school atmosphere. Is basically, I'm summarizing it and not really giving it the full representation of what it should, but that is basically what the restricted mode does. And so this would be fine. It would serve its purpose. However, because of the complexity of this humans and human language, you can't really tell a computer how to distinguish between something that's overly sexual in nature and something that's just someone talking about themselves. And for example, this was really prevalent in the LGBT community, and a lot of their videos about talking about coming out and things like that were flagged as restricted content. And so this is even more concerning, and this was another concern brought up by obviously the YouTubers themselves, and as a result, more media companies are saying, well, what the hell is this, right? And how are we supposed to affiliate our company with you and with YouTube if you don't think that talking about your sexuality is an acceptable thing to do? And so YouTube continued. I sort of in a way feel bad for YouTube because I don't think they're doing anything deliberately to try and ruin their own company. Like, why would you do that? You don't ruin your own company. That doesn't make sense. And I think that they're not trying to do any disservice to the YouTube community, because as a YouTuber, a small YouTuber, but I still can see from the bigger YouTuber's eyes in some sort of nature, anyone who's on YouTube sort of spreading something bad, like what PewDiePie did with that anti-Semitic video, that doesn't bode well for anyone on YouTube. YouTube since its creation has consistently been trying to establish itself as a mainstream source of media, and people recording videos that do disservice or make it more difficult for YouTubers to establish themselves as mainstream media obviously don't help the cause. And so from a YouTube perspective, it makes sense for them to try and help the creators out. However, it enters this very gray area of what is free speech versus what isn't. Now, obviously, it's important to note that YouTube is a private organization. They don't need to follow free speech because it's their own website. They can do whatever they want on it. And so, again, that argument, I guess, is kind of invalid, but at the same time, I think it still is an important conversation, because no good company would want to sort of cut free speech. No company that advertises media would want to do this. However, YouTube has consistently failed to address the issues on their website properly, and I don't think that's for lack of an effort. I think it's just they're obviously complex issues, and this is sort of amplified by what's been happening more recently over the past couple of weeks. And this is what really pushed me over the edge to make this video, and this is, I think, the most important thing that I want to bring up, especially because I haven't seen it brought up by any other mainstream source on YouTube that I have watched, and so I figured it would be good to bring up. But YouTube is a genre in itself almost, and I think of it similar to news. If you looked at news, you're not going to judge Fox News based on what CNN reports. You're not going to judge CNN based on what Fox reports, or any other news source on the earth. You could talk about the most irrelevant. I can't think of any irrelevant sources, but you can't compare BuzzFeed to CNN or to MSNBC. This because they report news does not mean that they're the same organization, they're the same institution, and because of that, you don't make one group sort of define all of them. Whereas on YouTube, you could have one idiot talking about something ridiculously stupid, and for some reason, well, not for some reason, I do know the reason, but it's portrayed in the mainstream media as all YouTubers are bad. All YouTubers are these type of people that are doing this thing that's not acceptable in society, that shouldn't be acceptable. And so there is a reason I think that the media is doing this, and it's a business-based decision, because I don't think that the media is stupid. I know a lot of people like to talk about how if there's a news site that doesn't fit their bias, they say these people there are stupid, they don't know what they're doing. Well, I don't believe that. I think there are people who understand what they're doing on every side of every spectrum. And so for you to sort of devalue what someone else is saying, that you don't agree, something that someone else is saying because you don't agree with it, and saying they're stupid, it doesn't help you in any way either. I think that a lot of what is happening with mainstream media and their coverage on YouTube is strictly to get more advertisement revenue. There's only so much advertisement revenue that's going to be done online. Obviously, this has been increasing as online presence has been more documented and more prevalent all throughout the world. But if you look at a website like Yahoo, and this is the actual story. There was a story on Yahoo yesterday about a YouTuber who was saying all sorts of profanity. And this was a main story on the main page of Yahoo, that a YouTuber was saying, he was saying terrible things. Like, don't get me wrong, he was saying racist, terrible, profanity-laced things. However, that shouldn't be a main story. That shouldn't be a story on the homepage of your website. It's no different than there's crazy right-wing and crazy left-wing news sources that no one cares about, because they're crazy left-wing and crazy right-wing news sources. And so the only reason, I don't think that the people at Yahoo are so stupid that they think that every single person on YouTube has the same view. I think that advertisement revenue has been hard to come by for places like Yahoo, because YouTube has been cornering the market. They've been the most attractive place for advertisers for a long time. And so Yahoo and other mainstream news sources need to find a way to bring this revenue back, to bring these advertisers back to their website. And the easiest way to do that is discredit the other potential advertisement locations. And so by talking about YouTube in this terrible light, it regardless of how like valid of an argument it is, it makes advertisers think twice about advertising on YouTube. And so if Yahoo is able to run this story, then it doesn't matter, because YouTube is still very, I don't know if it just doesn't connect with a lot of the mainstream world, but that's not even a valid statement, because almost everyone knows what YouTube is. But like, I don't know if the concept of YouTube and the fact that every individual on YouTube has their own voice and is able to do however they wish, really, it doesn't register with news sources and advertisers, then I don't understand honestly what to do. Because for one idiot or a group of idiots to define an entire website is no different than saying, oh, okay, Breitbart now speaks for CNN because they both record the news. Just because two people upload on YouTube does not mean that they're both the same views. They don't have the same opinions. They're not the same people. So I don't really understand why advertisers on YouTube consistently look at YouTubers in this light. I don't know why you're presumed, recently at least by YouTube, you're presumed guilty until proven innocent. You're presumed that your videos are not acceptable until your videos are deemed acceptable. If you look at someone like Philip DeFranco, who only records the news, really, like his main channel just records the news. He does four or five videos a week on just the news. I was watching one of his videos last week, and he said that only 4 of his videos over the past year are not in restricted mode. So, or sorry, are available in restricted mode. He doesn't, like, for that to make sense, like, it doesn't make sense, really. Like, there's no way that someone just reporting the news shouldn't be able to get their news advertised. And so I think that this is just like, it's not really I don't have a solution, is what I'm trying to say here. Like, I'm not trying to come here and offer solutions, which isn't very helpful. I understand that, I acknowledge that, but I think that on YouTube there needs to be some sort of way for people to register, for people to identify that the views of Philip DeFranco are not the same as the views of PewDiePie, or are they the same as the views of Game Fruit Pulp, or any other small YouTuber or big YouTuber. They're not the same people. They're not the same institutions. Each YouTube channel is its own news source, or its own media source. And once YouTube starts treating it like that, and treating individual YouTubers as their own sources of media, their own sources of revenue, I think that the website would be a lot more successful in the future. But I mean, we'll see how this story develops. This is constantly changing, just like any other thing. And I don't really know how it's going to conclude, or if it will ever conclude. But for a smaller YouTuber, I don't make any revenue at all. But I have noticed that the monetized views have gone down on my channel, and they've gone down more. My views are down in the first couple months of the year, but the percentage of monetized views dropped at a greater percentage than the views. So it's something interesting to note that it's affecting everybody. Obviously, I don't make revenue off of YouTube, so it doesn't affect me at all, but it's something that I can still monitor on my channel, and obviously you've seen bigger YouTubers bring it up as well. So it is a thing. It is like, you can't expect YouTube not to address it, because if my monetized views are going down and everyone else's views are going down, then YouTube's total monetized views are going down, and then YouTube is losing revenue. So I think that YouTube is obviously going to try to address this. It affects the ability to make money for their company, but it's still it's something that I think the YouTube community as a whole needs to keep pressing on. And I think that this is something that we should focus, like, it should be the focus, is that you can't have one or two or a group of individuals define everyone on a website. It's the same as having every news source have the same voice. If it's the same as having every sports team, well, if football, if there's an injury in football, then suddenly soccer is unsafe. It's the same thing. Like, it doesn't make sense. They're different people. They're different groups. You can't continuously define different people as the same thing and expect to have any positive solutions or outcomes drawn. But anyways, that's just my thoughts, and I'd love to hear yours. So if you did enjoy the video, or if you didn't enjoy the video, regardless, let me know what you think in the comments down below. And if you're a new viewer and you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for your continued support. I hope you enjoyed this bonus Sunday video. And if you did enjoy, be sure to hit that like button and that favorite, and maybe share the channel with some of your friends. Be cool to keep growing and maybe grow this community a little bit more. We can get a little bit bigger of a voice. But aside from that, I hope you guys enjoy. You should catch a Rocket League video. Sorry, not a Rocket League video. A Minecraft minigames video tomorrow. And yeah, my name is Game Fruit Pulp. This has been Rocket League and discussions on YouTube. I will catch you guys all later. Have a good one.